the war was still going on in 1944, where the Army, the United States Army, interviewed some of these comfort women, and it was determined that these comfort women were not forced by the Japanese, but were recruited. Well, looking at the document and the different versions, one can question the legitimacy of that document. That's what I did, kids. I questioned it. So I contacted the National Archives outside of Washington, D.C. I made a telephone call. They advised me to send correspondence. I did. Well, yesterday they replied with this envelope. Was the very report that appears on the internet. They authenticated the report, saying that this is an authentic report written in 1944 by the United States Army after they captured comfort women in the Philippines. You notice how I use the word captured and not rescued? Because they were captured. These comfort women were fleeing the advancing American military. They were fleeing with the Japanese. Right behind the Japanese soldiers were these comfort women. They got separated. And when they got separated, they got disoriented and lost. And that's when they were captured and interviewed by the United States Army. Now remember, the American Army in this report reported the truth that these women volunteered, they were recruited, and the Japanese Army did not terrorize the Korean Peninsula by extracting 200,000 women at force. If there was 200,000 comfort women, they were recruited and they were well paid for their services. But what's interesting about this report is, it's mentioned in this report. This report goes on to mention that the women enjoyed a whole lot of money to where they were able to buy clothes, cosmetics, and other stuff for themselves on their visits into town. Sexual slaves can do that? Sexual slaves make that kind of money? Some women were even allowed to go back home after they paid their debt off. Sexual slaves can do that? Some women were even complaining that their schedule with the Japanese soldiers was too tight, that they were not able to accommodate all the soldiers, and that saddened them that they could not have sex with all the soldiers. Sex slaves feel that way? The report also goes on to mention that these comfort women engaged in sports with the Japanese soldiers. They went on picnics, they went to entertainment, they went to parties with these Japanese soldiers. Sex slaves do that? They were recruited, according to this report, by the United States Army in 1944. So the discussions ended right here. We got proof that they were being recruited and were recruited.